Ukraine's drone warfare strategy has already proven its effectiveness, Petraeus said in an interview with the Telegraph. Through the widespread use of FPV attack drones, naval drones, and long-range platforms, Kiev has managed to compensate for its lack of air and naval assets, keeping Russian forces in a protracted standoff. The American general placed particular emphasis on underwater and surface drones. Ukraine recently unveiled the new Toloka TLK-1000 drone, capable of striking targets at a range of up to 2,000 kilometers. Potential targets include facilities within Russia, including the strategically important Kerch Bridge. Furthermore, the Flamingo land-based cruise missile, with a range of up to 3,000 kilometers, has been deployed. The other day, I was piloting an unmanned naval complex in an undisclosed location in Ukraine, and it reached speeds of up to 100 kilometers per hour. It was simply incredible, the former CIA director admitted. Petraeus also proposed a three-step plan that he said could ensure Ukraine's victory. Mass production of unmanned systems. Kiev has already set a goal of producing 4.5 million drones by 2025, double last year's figure. Security guarantees from the West. Ukraine insists that any peace talks are impossible without clear commitments from the US and EU, strengthening sanctions against Russia. Harsh economic measures must complement military pressure. The general emphasized that these steps must be implemented simultaneously, otherwise Moscow will retain the ability to prolong the war. Petraeus paid special attention to funding for Ukraine's defense. He called for a £200 billion of frozen Russian assets in the EU to be used for developing unmanned aerial vehicle (UAV) technologies. He believed that these funds could provide Kiev with the resources to fully expand its production. As a reminder, on September the 12th, Ukrainian next-generation developments were presented at the Defense Tech Valley 2025 Global Defense Innovation Summit in Lviv. Specifically, a model of the Toloka underwater drone with a range of up to 2,000 kilometers and a payload capacity of up to 5 tons was unveiled. As a reminder, on February the 24th, 2025, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenski presented a number of defense developments by Ukrainian engineers during a meeting with the leaders of partner countries in Kiev. Reconnaissance drones, fiber optic guided FPV drones, robotic platforms, electronic warfare and interceptor systems, as well as interceptor drones and missile-armed naval drones were on display. In recent weeks, the defense forces have carried out several strikes on the Kacha military airfield near occupied Sevastopol. This clears the way for Ukrainian naval drones to Novorossiysk. Pavlo Lakichuk, Director of Security Programs at the Strategy 21 Center for Global Studies, told Kyiv 24. Since Soviet times, BE-12 Chaika anti-submarine amphibious aircraft have been based at this airfield. Although these aircraft are obsolete, they unexpectedly found renewed use during a full-scale war, says Lakichuk. The Russians found a way to spot our naval drones while they were sailing in pairs, a helicopter and a BE-12, and shoot them down practically as if they were targets, and it was quite effective, says Lakichuk. According to the expert, until now, Ukrainian strikes on Crimea have been carried out against more fat targets, but now the matter has finally reached the anti-submarine aircraft in Kacha. What this resulted in? Immediately after the strike on Kacha, our naval drones were able to break through to Novorossiysk and Tuapse. It was the strikes on Kacha that ensured effective operations against the enemy's rear, the expert explained. As reported, BE-12 amphibious aircraft at the Kacha airfield in occupied Crimea were hit on September the 21st, and on September the 24th, a large-scale combined attack by naval and aerial drones on Russia's Black Sea ports occurred. The BE-12 amphibious aircraft, which NATO called the Male, was designed in the 1950s and was first flown in 1960. The decades-old turboprop plane was designed to conduct short-range anti-submarine and maritime patrol duties. It can reach speeds of nearly 330 miles per hour and fly at a maximum altitude of around 10,000 feet. Western intelligence described the plane as a key Russian asset in Russian maritime air patrol operations in a 2023 update, determining that its employment was highly likely aimed at the early identification of Ukraine's sea drones. It said they flew out of Russian bases in Crimea, the Ukrainian peninsula that Russia has occupied since 2014. Ukraine has long targeted the peninsula and has recently ramped up attacks. The International Institute for Strategic Studies reported in its Military Balance 2023 report that Russia had 6 in a search and rescue role rather than anti-submarine duty. Exactly how many BE-12s Russia still has is not clear, but it's likely only a handful. Some BE-12s, likely far from operational condition, are also on display in Russian museums. Sea patrol has been critical for Russia in the Black Sea. Ukraine has a growing fleet of naval drones loaded with explosives that have hit Russian ships and ports, damaging and sinking a sizable portion of the Russian Black Sea fleet. Ukrainian drones have also shot Russian aircraft out of the sky with missiles. The small missile ship Vyshny Volochyok, a Project 21631 Buyan M class vessel belonging to the 41st Brigade of Missile Ships and Boats, crashed into a tanker in early August while fleeing from Ukrainian naval drones. According to Defense Express, the Russians attempted to conceal the damage to the ship as a result of this non-combat incident, but documents have surfaced online confirming the ship's collision with the tanker. Citing documents, the publication noted that the incident occurred in the Temryuk Bay of the Sea of Azov on August the 7th. The VChik OGPU Telegram channel published a diagram of the maneuvers of the small missile ship Vyshny Volochyok during the collision with the tanker Nazan. The publication's analysts noted the following nuance. According to the leaked report, due to the detection of a group of drones in the sky, likely Ukrainian, the ship was ordered to turn back to port. Just 6 minutes later, the ship Vyshny Volochyok collided with the tanker Nazan on its port side. The incident was determined to be an accident related to ship control. Analysts noted that the documents speak of deformation of the hull and hull structures. By the way, according to a report from the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation, on the night of August the 6th to the 7th, until about 6 a.m., 31 drones were destroyed over the Sea of Azov and another 11 over temporarily occupied Crimea. By the way, according to the report of the Russians, deformation of the hull and hull structures is reported. The actual damage can be seen in the photo. Recall a series of Project 21631, codename Buyan M, frigates is being built by the Zelenodolsk plant and was developed by the Zelenodolsk Design Bureau as a modernization of the Project 21630 Buyan frigates. At the same time, the displacement increased from 500 tons to 949. The strike weaponry is provided by the 3S-14 vertical launch system, which can launch 8 missiles, either caliber missiles or, in the future, Zircon and Onyx missiles. Earlier in August, a brand new Russian Navy tugboat, Kapitan Ushakov, sank during final outfitting at the Baltic shipyard in St. Petersburg. The vessel capsized overnight after flooding in the auxiliary machinery compartment and was later found resting on the bottom alongside the pier. The tug was intended for the Northern Fleet and had not yet entered service.